Today, we are going to talk about why your affirmation are not working. I've been into this kind of practice for quite a long time, and the longer I go with it, the longer I see why at a certain point affirmation don't work. I've seen it on myself, and now I'm seeing it also with other people. I see it clearly with other people. But I understand that not everybody can work with a person, with a coach. So how can you understand? How can you notice? How can you see why your affirmations are not working on yourself? Let me tell you. It's all about unconsciousness. When we started this personal growth process, we think that it's about information that we acquire, it's about things we practice, whether it is meditation, whether it is journaling, whether it is improving our voice, our body, our mindset, and doing that practice and drinking that thing and fasting and all these things, and creating a business that will just give you the opportunity to express yourself, to be creative, and to earn more money and to be free. We think it's all about these things, and then of course, learning how to speak in a better way and how to have better relationship with yourself and someone else. Okay, I get this. These are very useful tools, and also beautiful things to work on. But if we don't work on the major obstacles to everything, which is our level of awareness, we are kind of just doing things without getting the benefits of our action, because at the same time it's like we are doing 10 things, and then consciously and then unconsciously we are taking back those 10 things or even more. So your affirmations don't work because you are conscious when you say those words. And when you don't say those words, you are unconscious, so you don't actually know what you are affirming, because our thoughts are running all day long. And if we just spend 5 minutes in the morning, in the noon, and in the evening by affirming those new things, those things that we want to be, those things that we want to experience in life, those are not going to compensate for the 95% of the time that we are actually thinking opposing to those affirmation. Because if you don't have something right here, right now, it means that your whole life you've been thinking in a particular way that it is matching, reflecting those things that you don't have. So if you've been thinking for your whole life like that, do you really think that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour of affirmation will do the work? Sometimes it could be. There is always the exception that makes the rule. But I'm talking for the majority of people. Don't wait for that moment to happen. Work in the right way. Do the job, do the work on yourself in the right way. And it is not all these external things that can contribute that makes the difference, but it's the one things that we can always do despite what we're doing, that we have to do all day long. Not only when we are meditating, not only when we are doing yoga pose, not only when we are journaling, not only when we are affirming. Any moment, we have to become aware of this very moment, of every moment of the day. So awareness is key. Awareness of your body, awareness of your thoughts, stillness that comes from within, that place where you gotta stay, you gotta realize that place where you can observe in a very detached way whatever is going on. Even this talk for me, it's been observed. When I'm going on through my day, my thoughts are being observed. My emotions are being observed. My reactions are being observed to external condition that have generated that particular thought. So the loop come back to being aware of our thoughts. So the more aware we become, the more we see how our mind is fucked up and how our thoughts are just based on fear rather than love, which those affirmations we use are closer to this, to the love, all right? But if 95% of the time, now this is just a number, okay, it changes for everybody, but generally speaking, if the majority of time we are unconsciously thinking based on our program, which is being generated by fear, by ignorance, by unconsciousness, we cannot expect that just that 5% of our being in a certain way, of our affirmation can change our life. So our goal, our true goal, which eventually will make you realize that all those things that you are trying to manifest by affirming, by doing whatever technique, visualizing, etc., it don't really matter. The purpose, the goal, the true goal is to become more aware, fully aware, as much aware as we can, as much aware as possible in this lifetime. So, again, this is why our affirmation don't work, especially at the beginning, but even after a while, because our unconsciousness is so deep-rooted in us that we don't realize, and when we start to realize it, it gets even scary. Because we are seeing actually all the bullshit that we are thinking all day long. When you are unaware, you cannot see all that shit. You don't want to see it. Alright, it's almost a coping mechanism, a protection mechanism. So why people don't want to spend time with themselves? Why people don't like silence? Because otherwise, one way or another, if they cannot distract themselves, they will have to look at their thoughts, and their thoughts are scary. And they become even more scary when you get the knowledge and when you start to believe that your thoughts create your reality. So you don't want to see your thoughts because they are creating your shit reality, or they could even create something even worse. So our affirmation will start to work the more we become aware, because the more aware we become and the more we can see thoughts and just let them go, observe, not without resisting, and then eventually when our mind becomes still most of the time, and we put a thought on that, which is our affirmation, okay, whatever it is, so that carries so much more power, okay, because it's clear. It's not being dragged down by all the other affirmation that doesn't match that frequency. Eventually we come a point where you don't even affirm anymore, because just that observing presence, just that stillness gives you everything, and that makes your state of being whole. And we can use whole as a word, but we can use, like, you become love. Your state of being is love. Your state of being is loveness, is love, it's peace, it's abundance. So you don't need to affirm, you are that, and therefore your circumstances, your outer reality will take that form, will shape according to your inner state. So what we have to do is to work on ourselves consistently. We don't have to we don't have to want anything. We don't have to want to become enlightened. We don't have to want to become rich. We don't have to want to a partner, a job, to live in a certain way. We don't have to want anything. We just have to work on ourselves. If we have to identify with something, we have to identify with this person that does the work on himself, and just our goal is to shift, to change little by little, or even with all of a sudden. Who knows? Who cares? The way we see the world, the way we see ourselves, starting more and more to see the world as perfect, to see everything as perfect, to see yourself as perfect, part of the perfect unfolding. Recognize that you don't know and God knows better. Developing this kind of faith in your own journey. Forgiving yourself, accepting all your mistakes, all your flaws, all your limitations. Stop condemning yourself. Stop punishing yourself because you haven't been perfect, because you haven't completed a task, because you could have done better. No, you are doing the best you can. And it doesn't really matter what you think you're doing, because something bigger, it's making life happening. But I understand that this can be too much for people even to consider. So, coming back to giving power to your affirmation, the only way, it's not the next technique, it's not the new scientific discovery, it's not going to India and touch the feet of a guru. It's not anything, right? It's just this moment. It is only this moment. Be aware of this moment, and there is a lot to become aware of before we drop everything and we can just be the observer. And when we get there, it's not about getting, it's about being there wherever you are, whatever level of consciousness you are. Just recognize, honor, and respect that. Accept that it's part of the process. You have to stop to project yourself when you get somewhere. No, right here, right now, that's it. That's the moment. Try to leave everything that comes to you, everything that happens, with the same detachment that you would look at that situation 10 years after. Can you do that? It's something that we have to practice. With the same detachment, with the same underneath serenity that allows that things to be. That allows you to see that things in the moment with compassion, with love, not with resentments, not with resistance, and whatever, and so on. But I will say this in the right way, meaning it's not about getting to that point, it's about doing something to get there. But don't wait to enjoy life until. No, whatever you're doing now, whatever you can do now, it's okay, it's perfect. It is exactly where you're supposed to be. Because things in life just don't happen like this. It's a process. We gotta be in the process and recognize that every step in the process, in the path, in the journey, it's the destination. It's it. It's not the next one. It's this very step. It's this very moment. So you wanna make your affirmation more powerful. You want to make your affirmation finally work, because they do works. They do works. Let's be clear. It's not that affirmation don't work. They do works. It's that we are not present enough. We are not aware enough to make them work, because it's like scoring a point when you affirm something, and then the other team, your subconscious, your programming, just score as well, not 1, maybe 10. So that goal you have done, it doesn't make you win the game. You can win the game when you are aware of what's going on a subconscious level, on your mind, and you can stop that activity. You stop identifying with that activity, you just observe it, and then they will drop, and then you can counterbalance with affirmation. You will figure out what to do. The only things that I'm here to tell you, it's just become more aware. Everything could be an aware practice. You can do you don't need to do a particular thing. You don't need to have money to buy a certain course. You don't need to go somewhere or to practice that activity, whether it is yoga, blah blah blah. No, everything. Okay, you write down something, be there. Observe fully your body. You speaking, observe yourself speaking. Observe your thoughts while you speak. You cooking, pay attention to the food, to what's going on in you. Are you cooking? Are you eating? Are you thinking something that doesn't concern what's going on right here, right now? So your mind is in the past, it's in the future, it's worrying, it's making. No. Do what you're doing fully and stop thinking. Don't force yourself to stop thinking, just observe your thoughts and it will stop. Observe your action and you will do what you're actually doing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next one. As always, peace, love. I believe in you.